SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.
Available on Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud.com, and Spotify. You are listening to Mo and the Deadman with your hosts Moses Marquez and the Deadman, Paul Morales.
What's going on, everybody? RWT family, Smart Mark Radio listeners, and just, badass wrestling fans around the world. What's going down? This is the debut episode of Mo and the Deadman present the Wednesday Night Wars. I am, of course, one of your two co-hosts of the evening, Moses Marquez, and I am joined by the one, the only resident Deadman of RWT, Mr. Paul Morales. What's going down, Paul?
What is up, Mr. Moses Marquez?
Eyes be doing good. How is you?
I be doing good, living life. I'm fat.
In the fat lane.
So I'm good.
So I'm just gonna shoot it off here. We're recording this on a Saturday. What is it? October 5th, 2019. Smackdown happened. I know this is the Wednesday Night Wars. We're gonna talk about AEW. We're gonna talk about NXT. But I think it would do us a big injustice if we don't talk about SmackDown. The first episode of SmackDown, live from the Staples Center on Fox. Multiple RWT members there for this one. Moni Lynn, one of them. Ted Pitanero, another. Emir Blackbane Costello. Moni Lynn, one of our other co-hosts, if you are familiar with the Retro Rewind, and you should be because you are on the SoundCloud station for Smart Mark Radio. Moni Lynn was there and had her nice, awesome sign saying, listen to the Retro Rewind. And hopefully, that garnered us some help. But if not, don't worry. The faithful will hang out. But, Paul, you were just geeking out over the phone while we were watching SmackDown. What are some highlights that you enjoyed from this show?
I have to say right off the bat, this was actually very different feel for the show. Altogether, it was a very different feel from the show. More or less because I watched that blue carpet special right before it. That was on YouTube, and then got into the show, and then, the man came out, Baron Corbin. All of a sudden, he came out. And then you hear it. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. I
think everybody got goosebumps on that one.
I'm telling you.
I know I did. Because I was like, holy crap. When you know he's coming back. You don't know when he's coming out. But when he does, it doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the show, beginning of the show, end of the show. It's going to be a gigantic pop.
It's The Rock's show.
Well, I mean, he said it himself. Without him saying Smackdown, it would have never have come to fruition. The show started in 1999, mainly due to WCW's Thunder, garnering a little bit more of attention and taking up a Thursday slot. The wars go down. You can't just let them put out another show without you competing. So out comes SmackDown, and then because of stars like Stone Cold Steve Austin being out with injury or also playing up that angle that he got hit by the car, they started SmackDown, and the front person for SmackDown was, of course, the Brahma Bull himself, The Rock, who looked gigantic, by the way. If that's not, freaking obvious, he's just fucking huge.
Well, we know. Well, if you don't watch him on Instagram, if you watch him on Instagram, you see he's in his gym every morning, twice a day. In the morning, in the evening,
clanging and banging
twice a day. So he does them two. He does it clanging and banging. He does them two a days, and so as to the reason why
that's
he
true.
so
I mean,
swole.
but to just to recap a little bit, The Rock's coming out. Corbin was out there. Becky Lynch opened up the show, but Corbin comes out to interrupt. Then she tells him, like, take one more step and see what happens. And then all of a sudden, The Rock comes out, and that's when everybody goes crazy. Rock calls Corbin a cracked out Burger King. They tried to make him chant STD, stands for super tough dude. I was like, that's terrible. Please don't make people chant STD. I get it, it's The Rock.
And people
really
chanted
were like,
STD.
It was trending.
And it was trending.
I mean, like, they were
it
a
was
little
trending.
lackadaisical at first. Like, well, I mean, The Rock said it, so, I mean, I guess we'll have to say it. But, like, if anybody else fucking told us to say it, like, we're not chanting that shit. It was a little hesitant, but whatever. The point is, they end up kicking Baron Corbin's ass afterwards. Rock bottom, Stone Cold Stunner. Rock bottom, People's Elbow. That's the last time we see The Rock, but we do see Mama Rock later. I call her Mama Rock. I mean, of all the other good stuff, I guess, that happened on this show, it felt like a normal other SmackDown, but we did get Real American played for a whopping 3 minutes just to see Hulk Hogan sit down. All the stars that were mentioned for this show were just in the fucking crowd. And it kind of was like a little laxative. It was a little, like, heartbreaking. It kind of sucked. There was no Stone Cold. There was no Undertaker. Apparently, they told him he wasn't needed. Fucking Tyson Fury, WBC World Heavyweight Boxing Champion of the world, had a little bit of a stare down with gigantic Braun Strowman, but Tyson Fury is taller than him. Braun Strowman is legit like 6'6".
I don't know. I have
Tyson Fury's.
They were standing, face to face with each other, and he looked like he was about.
Tyson Fury
they could
is
be about the
at
same
6'8",
height.
just shy of 6'9". I think it's like 6'8 3/4. But Strowman is gone.
So in other words, he's 6'8", 6'8",
something like that. You know the
13,
gimmick.
or
something like that.
6'8", 13 or something like that.
The point I'm getting
Whatever.
at is I think Strowman's like 6'6" because he had gone to Yankee Stadium and he stood next to Aaron Judge, who is a legit 6'7", and Judge was taller. So I think Strowman's like only like 6'6", but that's neither here nor there. They get into a scuffle. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens at Saudi Arabia or maybe even the Royal Rumble. Everything pretty much just builds to the Kofi Brock Lesnar match. They kill poor Kofi, fucking just throwing his reign down the side. Doesn't matter what you did to WrestleMania. Fuck you. Give the belt to Brock. But it was all, I guess, for the bigger cause, which I don't really know if that's a bigger cause or not, dude, because reality is this guy's not signed. He still has dates with AAA. He's supposed to be going to Madison Square Garden. They did all this in hopes he's going to sign. And he's not signed yet. And if you're not getting at what I'm getting at, when Kofi got his beat down and Brock Lesnar's standing there, all of a sudden Rey Mysterio's music hit. He comes out with what is supposed to be the Brown Pride Superman, Cain Velasquez, the dude that beat the holy shit out of Brock Lesnar in the first round. And by holy shit, I mean Brock Lesnar was legitimately mauled in the cage, left with a bloody face, absolutely out-wrestled, and the whole nine.
YouTube it.
It's fantastic.
YouTube it. If you guys need to,
you need to
YouTube
it. Cain Velasquez is legitimately still to this day one of the best heavyweights in UFC, and he would beat Brock again. He's a better wrestler, and he's a 10 times better striker. I know. I followed Cain many years.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go to the reality of
Fans
everything.
are pissed off
Fans
because
are pissed off.
Kofi lost.
Fans are pissed off. No, hold on. Let me go on my little rant. So fans are pissed off. Fans are pissed off for the fact that he went out there, he basically squashed Kofi, and had it been okay, here's how I would have did it. Save face. Brock didn't need that title. To have this feud, to have this feud with Cain Velasquez, he didn't need that title.
It's not like they're going to give the belt to Cain anyway.
They could have just quite simply... No, hold on. No, let me finish. He could have quite simply just went out there, it rang. All of a sudden, Rey Mysterio's music hit. Kofi rolls him up. He sees Cain Velasquez. He's so freaking like frightened. Kofi roll him up, gets the win, you know, and then Velasquez hits the ring. That could have been a hell of a lot better and saving face for Kofi. Instead, what you did is you just literally demolished him in the ring to make him look like a damn fool. That's what you did.
That's true.
So all this time, he climbed the mountain to get squashed in about 5 seconds by Brock Lesnar. That's horrible. I don't give a shit if it was fucking 8 seconds. You want to add 3 seconds? Fine, add 3 seconds.
No,
I think it was bullshit, and the fans know it, and everybody else knows it.
I 1000% agree.
So,
it was
there's my
absolute
rant.
bullshit. You build Kofi up as the quote unquote next Daniel Bryan. You have him beat Daniel Bryan, become the first African American WWE champion. You know, besides, well, no, Booker T was never WWE champion. He was just World Heavyweight champion. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. A very historical moment, very historical dude. And just because it's Fox, you got to squash it. Kane, like I said, Kane comes out. The fear in Brock's eyes was a shoot, okay? It was a shoot. This guy mauled him. He's legit scared or sold it beyond well. Kane comes in, double legs him, just starts mauling him. Brock heads for the hills. That's how the show ends. There's already video up of Daniel Cormier just absolutely geeking out, marking out like nobody's fucking business. You swear to God, Sting came out and just death dropped everybody. That's how I would have marked out, by the way. And he's marking out because Kane went out there. Does this mean Daniel's next? I mean, he does have a good relationship with Fox. The name has been brought up for at least about 7-8 months. Can you see Daniel Cormier in the WWE ring? If not, on a WWE commentary table?
Well, yes. And I could also see Shale Sonnen. Shale. Yeah, Sonnen. So, yeah, I could also see him going there. But we'll figure out what they have after the draft. In which case, I'm going to say Roman Reigns is going to be on that because apparently he's been advertised for Smackdown in Buffalo on November 1st. So apparently he's staying, and apparently he's fighting Eric Rowan there, so apparently he's staying. But anyways, apparently we'll find out everybody who's going to be there as far as after next Friday and the following, not this Monday, the following Monday on Raw when we finish the draft.
Well, before we get into the Wednesday night part, really quick, I want to say this is the first time WWE has topped over a 3 million rating in God knows how long. They were just shy of 4 million, and I do mean just shy, 3.96 million viewers for the Fox debut. Now, I highly doubt they're even in the threes next week. But if they are, I'm not going to be entirely surprised. But we talked about ratings. Let's talk about this awesome debut of two great Wednesday night shows, and that being AEW Dynamite. I like Wednesday night Dynamite, but they're going to just call it AEW Dynamite. The first actual television show on TNT since 2001, I believe, was the last time WCW was on TNT. And so now,
yeah, the night that they
Shane,
it.
quote unquote, had bought it.
That was the last time.
But I mean, this was a great.
Yeah, that was the last time.
This was a great opening show. Okay, as like for a wrestling show, entertainment television show wise, this was a great show. We had the amazing commentary team of Excalibur, Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross reliving their days of the NWA back into the late 80s, now back together again, you know, here at AEW. This is a great commentary team. There's probably one better commentary team in all of professional wrestling right now, and that's Kevin Kelly and Rocky Romero for New Japan. But that's just my opinion. There's other great teams out there. I'm not, by saying this is one of the best teams, I am not by any means downgrading the NXT team. They're fantastic. But this team is something special. Okay, it's something special. Now, I'm not going to say this first match was something special, but it was very good. And you know what? The crowd made it that much better. So, let me get into this. Cody with Brandy Rhodes taking on the best ever, the leader of the Panda Fam, Sammy Guevara. My brother had texted me. He was supposed to do this show. By the way, anybody who was willing for that update, as you can tell, he's not here. It's not happening. No football for Smart Mark Radio. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just keep adding Wednesday Night Wars in the retro. But Sammy Guevara he has got MJF level heat. He's a prick. Okay? He's a cocky prick who just doesn't give a shit. He goes out there, he tries to have a good match, and that's pretty much what it was. Like, they went out there, they tried to have a good match, and it was what it was. It was a 10-minute match that felt like it went 10 minutes, and it did. It was spaced out perfectly. They had high spots. There was a super Spanish fly off the top rope. There was the Brandy Rhodes got taken out by a dive. Immediate heat on Guevara, and it was great. We did get an attack by Shu, which reminded me of the WCW Nitro episode that we just watched when Ric Flair beat Hulk Hogan via Shu attack. And, you know, Cody Rhodes ends up rolling up this dude into a cradle and gets the win. So, it's not like he had to use his move. He didn't exactly bury Guevara. The match got over, and it was what it was. So, Sammy, after the match, goes to get a handshake, and right as Cody goes to give the handshake, or excuse me, I skipped over the Tony Schiavone part. Tony Schiavone comes out. Tony Schiavone has known Cody Rhodes since they were children, okay? Since he was a child. He's worked with his brother forever. He worked with his dad forever. They have a moment. You could see Cody trying to hold back tears. This will probably happen for like the first month this show's on the air. And like right as they're going to like just have like a quick little interview, Guevara interrupts. He goes for the handshake. They shake hands. The crowd seems to be behind it. Right as they do it, all of a sudden, Chris Jericho attacks Cody Rhodes, lays him out, and Guevara's just standing there. And he's like, well, this ain't my fight. And he just puts his hands up and he walks away like a total asshole. And that's just that. And that's how we do it. Jericho beats the holy crap out of Cody throughout the break. We could barely see any of it, but Jericho's just so great. He knows when they're at commercial, and he's kind of just wasting time. And then when he comes back, he does other stuff, and then he tells everybody, I'm Chris Jericho. We're like, motherfucker, we know. We know who you are. But that was good. Did you get anything out of this opening match? This was the first match for AEW. This was their Liger and Brian Pillman. What did you think? My brother is telling me that it should have been way more fast-paced. I told him he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I felt this was good, and the crowd made it great. Because they wanted to really be behind this match.
I could tell you from the opening of when Cody came out, you could see the emotion on his face, and I get why they had him first. I get why they had him come out first and have the opening match, and the crowd, you know, pretty much let him know thank you, because it was an alternative to WWE, and the ratings showed it. So, with that said, he was very emotional. You could see as he got into the ring how emotional he was. After the match with Tony Schiavone, you could see his emotion on his face. You could see he started to cry, and you know they did get a hug. They hugged, didn't they? They did share an embrace, a handshake and a hug. And then, you know, all the other stuff started. But I have to say, it was a good match. It wasn't like I'm going to, you know, talk about it very much, but it was a good match. I did like the super Spanish fly from the top rope. I did like some spots in the match, but it
It
was
was
good.
good. Now,
So
unfortunately, not so good. MJF versus Brandon Cutler. MJF, like I just said, ultimate heel. Everybody hates him. They're chanting asshole just as he's trying to cut a fucking promo. All of a sudden, the whole gimmick behind Brandon Cutler is he is a geek. He's the geek. He's a geek to the point where he has like the Dungeon and Dragon dice on his tights. Like that's how big of a geek he's supposed to be. But the Young Bucks love him so much, so that's whatever. There's really not a whole lot to even go into this match. We get a little bit of a split screen. Actually, no, this one had no split screen. This match was just slow. Cutler tries to do a dive, but then all of us, he goes to do like a crossbody. He comes down weird on his leg. He says he just sold it. If that's how you sell it, then you guys probably shouldn't have been like the second match of the night. It should have been like the take a piss match or whatever. But anyway, it was a cheap shot by MJF. He gets the Fujiwara armbar in. He's pulling a Matt Riddle, and that was that. It's like they took it home. It was obviously a botched spot. Brandon Cutler got the nerves. That's all I'm gonna get. Like he got nervous. Shit happened, and it was what it was. You got anything to add about this thing?
it was the worst match.
I don't think they wanted it to be.
Show. If we're being this, I know they didn't want it to be. I know that they wanted to go out and put on a good match, but it wasn't even that. It wasn't even mediocre. It was very, very. I will use the word peasant. It was very, very peasant. It was nothing worth really discussing. I mean, you could tell by how bored I am just talking about it because there was nothing really.
I mean, if you really wanted to get like my
whatsoever.
full-blown opinion of it, if I had to give it a rating, it would be a dud because it just was. It was no good. It was no good. I hope they got.
Yeah, I would probably go into negative numbers, and it has nothing to do with MJF. I think he's an asshole heel because, well, he's an asshole. But I just don't. I just didn't care for it whatsoever. And by saying I wanted to give it a negative number, yeah, that'll just tell you.
Sorry, but yeah, we get is it Chris Van Vliet, I believe is his name. Former YouTube interview guy for wrestling. Now I guess works for AEW. Not 1,000% on that. Don't quote me. Kevin Sullivan and Jason Mewes are out there. Jay and Silent Bob, for those of you who don't know. The geek culture is legit tonight. Most AEW fans are a little on the geeky side, so I'm pretty sure you all know who Jay and Silent Bob is. Let me just say that Kevin fucking Smith, bro, Jesus Christ, he's lost a lot of weight. Like, it's scary.
Yeah, ever since he had his heart attack, dude, he was legit scared the hell out of him, and he lost, and he was just like, I'm changing my life from here on out. That's it. And he legit changed his life. He pretty much still wears the same shit, but he
looks like half the size.
Changed his eating habits. He literally just changed his whole life, and he cut out a lot of shit, and he looks amazing.
That he does. Congrats to him.
So.
Jack Evans comes out, gets into Muse, tells him Morris Day and the time sucks. I took offense to that. I was like, how dare you? If you get the inside reference, you're probably laughing your ass off right now.
Yes, 777-9311. Good song. Go listen to it.
Anyway, that was that. But the camera's cut. Private Party. He was walking around ringside, drinks in their hand. It looks like it's going to be, Private Party against Jack Evans and Helico. Then we also get a pre-recorded promo, at least it seemed pre-recorded. Scorpio Sky dressed like Barack Obama and SCU as Secret Service dudes. He's a really good impression as Barack Obama, I will say that. And then they do an actual promo in front of the crowd. similar to like how Gene would do. You know, Gene Orgeland's out there, but now it's Tony Schiavone is doing his bit. Scorpio Sky pretty much says that, like, I'm going to step back, and it's going to be the former 4-time tag team champions, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, going up against the tag tournament peoples, or going into the tag tournament, excuse me. All of a sudden, out comes Phoenix and Pentagon. You know, they're the greatest team on the planet. They kind of brawl. They break it up. Even fucking Dean Malenko's out there with his big gut, bald head. So, good for them. All I know is, dude, I'm terrible at her name, but that female ref is over like nobody's business. She's out there, and she's helped breaking up the brawl, and she just puts her hands on her hips, and she looks at Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, she's awesome. I really
that was
like
hilarious.
her.
She's just puts her hands on her
her.
hips and looks at Christopher Daniels. She's like, what? What do you want me to do? She's like, get on over there. And he's like, what? And she's just like, she's not even pointing. She's just like, just glaring. Go over there. It was just great. She's awesome. She's the fucking best, dude. Like, she is the American version of Red Shoes, but doesn't take anywhere near the amount of, I guess, attention as Red Shoes does. Red Shoes could take over a match. She'll take over a match in a good way. We get, I guess, just everybody working out. Chris Jericho's in the back. He's chatting with Ortiz and Santana. Jim Ross then apologizes to the audience for eavesdropping on their conversation. I was like, motherfucker, you guys have been doing that shit since the 80s. I don't know why you're apologizing. They're always in guys' locker rooms. Like, anyway. Then we get a match that I don't want to say
I know I'm a little late. Her name is Aubrey
Edwards.
Aubrey
Fucking awesome.
Edwards.
But I want to get into this. I want to get into this Pac Hangman
awesome.
Page match. You know, it's supposed to be pronounced Pac or whatever, just like an asshole. So I'm going to call him Pac. All right, you can kick my ass if you want to. Do it later though. And Hangman, the bastard, exactly.
The bastard.
Hangman Page. Now, Pac is an incredible worker. He can cut a great promo. He's pretty much got it all. He's just unique and not everybody's cup of tea. However, Hangman Page is supposed to be that guy who is everybody's cup of tea. He's the big, tall, strong cowboy American dude, blah 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 blah, good looking, blah. To be super honest with you, and as good as this match was, and it was good, they just did a bunch of shit. They worked a similar style, you know, one a little bit more high flying than the other, but even not really that much high flying because Pac didn't climb as much because the ropes were loose. And if anybody knows anything about these wrestlers, especially these guys that are high flyers, if the ropes are just a little out of their comfort zone, they're not having it. They're not having it because they know, like, I can get fucking hurt, and I'm not getting fucking hurt. Like, because that's my money right there. So,
Yeah, I kind of noticed that too. I kind of noticed that at least
loose.
The top rope was a little loose, and I wasn't even like, because I saw him try and climb the rope, and he did, but he was just like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna do this again. And I think he did it one more time, but I think he just wanted to test it to the first time. And then he did it a second time, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to go back up there. I think the one thing is that it was very, very slow paced. And the fact that it was slow paced and there was so much to be, I guess there was so much time. It's like putting on an arm bar or putting on a rear chokehold and just watching that because that's how slow it was.
No, they got a certain amount of time. They felt like they weren't doing as much, and they just needed to fill a little bit of time. I'm not trying to be mean to these guys. They went out there and they tried. They really, really did, but it just didn't. It didn't really work that well for me. I did like the spine buster, then a pop-up powerbomb from Adam Page. He did land a moonsault to the floor. I thought that was great. And then all of a sudden,
is it me, or does it seem like Paige is not as?
You know what? I really think that whole issue he had while he was Dragon Gate champion really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And you know what, dude? I've been watching this business for over 20 years, and first off, any of you guys that have an issue with Pac and the decision you made, fuck you. Seriously. Like, you shouldn't be a wrestling fan. This guy...
No, I didn't say Pac. I'm not talking about Pac. I'm talking about Paige. He just doesn't see. I mean, I don't think he got the pop that we.
You want to hear my reason why?
For being just last month, at at All Out.
But do you want to hear my reasoning on why?
It just seemed like he wasn't getting that reaction. He was just in the main event. He was just in the main event for the first ever AEW championship, and it just seemed like, now I'm not saying that match was great, because to me it's like Jericho is completely out of shape, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. I really don't. Jericho looks like he was sitting in the back eating,
he was not in good shape.
Wrestled. And it looks like he looks very out of shape. I know he's touring and everything, and I know he doesn't get the time to do all this, and I'm not expecting him to be like this well built guy, for 47 or 47, I believe he is, and 47 or 48, whatever he is. Okay, so even for being that, I expected him to not be as, I'll say, chubby as he is. But you know what? I know he's a good, I know his attitude and everything, and I know the character he's playing is great. I think it's awesome. I think it's next level freaking heel. But it's just like, come on, man. I know you're out touring with your band, but dude, get at least somewhat in shape. What happened to your DDP yoga, dude? You were all up on that, and then all of a sudden it looks like you just
he
stopped.
got comfortable. It's that tour life. But no, I agree. He was out of shape.
No, but okay, so back to this match. I mean, it just looks like, I just don't see Paige as being that. I mean, as much as he wants to be that top guy, or wants to be, a champion in there, I just don't see it in him. But maybe it's just me, and maybe he's like that. I want to say like Hollywood blonde Steve Austin. He was still, kind of big, still that, or when Dustin Rhodes, no, not Dustin Rhodes, God dang it, Barry Windham. That's who he reminds me of a little bit of, is a Barry Windham type of guy.
I could see that. Well, let me.
Because Barry Windham was a cowboy guy, so that's where I kind of got that from. Here's the thing with
Hangman, and this is why I feel like he got such a lackluster response. Just like how you pointed out, the guy was just in the main event title picture. He was just in line for the first ever AEW World Championship match. He lost in what was a pretty all right match. He didn't exactly get put over by Chris Jericho, but in the time from Double or Nothing to Wednesday night, what have they done with Hangman Page? Has he cut another promo to get you enticed? Was he on Being the Elite in any way that made you excited to see him versus Pac? Have they done anything with this dude to garner any sort of attention? The fact of the matter is he is a wrestler who has a all right moveset. He has the look, and he cannot cut a promo to save his life. He really doesn't have that much charisma, okay? He's just a dude. And I hate to say that, I really do, because I saw the dude wrestle Okada, okay? And he's got mad talent. And, not everybody is a CM Punk on the mic, or a Dusty Rhodes, or a Ric Flair, or an Adam Cole. Or, you know what I mean? Not everybody is amazing with a microphone in front of their face. And sometimes the in-ring is what sparks better, but it's like he's getting nothing. His in-ring is lackluster because they're putting him up against these guys where he's going to lose. You're going to lose to Chris Jericho. That's not a rub. You're going to lose to Pac. That's not a rub. Like, you cannot be losing to these guys in this fashion. If And I understand the wins and losses matter. I get that factor. But if you wanted to save Hangman just a little bit, this would have been more of a screwy finish than the fact that Pac hit a low blow and then all of his fucking moves in the world, you know, the Red Arrow and then the Rings of Saturn. But Hangman is a dude right now. That's it. Sammy Guevara, who was a dude a month ago, is way more over now than Hangman Page, who was just in the world title picture.
Yeah, that I agree with. I agree
sucks.
with.
It's because
totally.
it's like, dude, you're not doing nothing with this guy. One match for Sammy and he's over the moon. The guys, Hangman's had 3. He's had two. If you want to be super technical, he's had what 4 matches. He's been in every single pay-per-view and including the opening AEW television show. Because he had a match at All In. He was in the Battle Royal. He won that. He did Fight for the Fallen. He did I forget what the other one was, but he's done all of them. Fighter Fest.
Fighter
he's had a match
Fest or
every
something
single
like that.
one of them. He's gone out there. He's done all right, and that's just it, just all right. And then after this world title shot, he's gone downhill because they've done nothing with him. He lost. Okay, you go on the back burner now, and by back burner we mean the back of the locker room, and don't raise your hand or say anything.
Yeah, but you already knew that they weren't going to allow Pac to lose 2 in a row, or lose, or even lose right now. You know, he's 2-0. He's gonna eventually, at some point, get a title shot. And eventually, they're probably gonna have a mid-card title at some point. But right now, I guess it's the wins and losses matter. Wins and losses matter.
Page is 0-2. So we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean? This is episode 1 of season 1. Only time will tell as we go from here. But now we get to the inaugural AEW Women's Championship match. Riho taking on Nyla Rose. Dr. Britt Baker, the wife of Adam Cole, is at the commentary table for this one. And you know what? This match was fine. It went a little long. Again, this is the part where they're telling these guys, hey, you get 18 minutes. They're legit going out there and making you know that this match was 18 minutes. Is it sometimes good? Is it sometimes bad? Absolutely. This, I don't want to say was one of the bad ones. What I do want to say is don't ever fucking split screen this shit again. Please. And this goes for NXT too. I don't want to split screen. I'd rather be left in the dark. Let me know how the heel got the heat or how the babyface got the heat back. You know what I mean? Like, let me know. Let me guess it.
Okay, my thing is with the split screen is, why does the commercial have to be the bigger portion? If you're gonna do a split screen, why not just do the commercial small in the corner but still have a big one for what's being shown? Why does it always have to be that the commercial, the wrestling also has to go into this little dinky do little corner, and it's like we're over here squinting to try and see what the hell's going on and try and watch the match? I'd much rather have like I'll take in soccer matches, you know, you get the little decal that comes into the corner. Okay, that's good. That's good. A little decal in the corner. Okay, well, this is brought to you by, you know, this portion of the match is brought to you by such and such, by Progressive, by State Farm, by, you know, I don't need to be in the middle of the match. And, you know, as of late, it just seems like it's just so repetitive.
No, it is repetitive.
It doesn't matter what company it is. I mean, it's across the board. You do split screen, you're going to end up with, you know, a little box in the corner with the wrestling match where you got to pretty much squint to watch the match. And then you got this big ass box with the freaking commercial. It's like, why? Why does it need to happen?
Man. Advertiser money. Let me just go with that.
I understand that, but dude, I'd much rather take the soccer match and say, okay, I can get through the whole thing than have a commercial. You know, you want to have an advertisement, you know, pop up a little box in the corner, or pop up a little box in the bottom corner, you know, that way.
It is easier that
It's
way.
easier
So,
that way.
to get into this match, I want to say it had at least 2 or 3 commercial breaks. Like I said, where we were forced to watch in a little box. I'm not watching during that time. There was another Wednesday night show with another great women's championship match, or a better championship. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A better women's championship match on the other channel. I was going back and forth, but I did get all of this after, of course, rewatching the whole bit. I want to ask this one simple fucking question. And I'm going to ask the next simple question in the next match. And it's, who trained these fucking refs, okay? Was it Nick Patrick? Nick Patrick trained these motherfuckers? Why in the fuck is this broad getting chairs when you have a win?
I knew you were going to go there.
Because it's like, dude, what is going on?
Throw that name
Why
out
are
there?
you grabbing chairs when you have this match won? This fucking poor 75-pound Japanese girl who could barely eat a bowl of noodles fast enough that you can hit her with a chair is dead on the ground, and you're grabbing chairs. Like, what is the point of this? And then the ref, like, rather than actually be the hard ass and DQ her, excuse me, she just takes the chair out of her hands. And then what does she do? She goes and gets more fucking chairs. Like, what the shit, man? It didn't make much sense to me. I'm like, dude, you're the referee. What are you doing? That one blew my mind. And the other one, well, let me get to the other. That one, I was screaming. I was screaming at the next one. But this match, like, just to finish it out.
I'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this, dude. I fucking love Nyla Rose.
Is great.
I don't care.
You know what, dude? I was bagging on her for a while. She's really good.
She's fucking funny. Oh fuck, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but she's fucking sexy as hell. But here's the one thing that I think is pretty crazy, is that I'm watching this match and I'm laughing at certain segments to where it's like, you see her grabbing the chairs and it's like the referee's just kind of watching her and she's pulling them out of under the ring, and she pulls out 1, she pulls out 2, she pulls out 3, she pulls out 4, and the referee's just like, no, you can't do that. And she's
like,
just
well,
laughing at him like, okay, well, whatever. And it's like, you don't even grab them to pick them up off the floor. Like, you didn't even grab them to pick them up off the floor. You just kind of sat there watching them, stack them up. And then everything else that happened.
That ref was the
just,
dad while watching football.
Hey, stop doing that. Hey, knock it off.
I fucking love Nyla Rose.
Anyway,
I don't care.
So
I fucking
speaking of the
love Nyla
chairs
Rose.
being all nice and stacked up, Nyla ends up taking a bump on said chairs. We end up getting double foot stomp into the pin, but Nyla kicks out right at 3, which I guess was the plan. So Riho is the new.
I think it was, and it looked really good. I'm sorry, but looked really good. Even it looked that close. I even rewound it to watch it again, and there
was another instance where there was a cradle, and I swear to God, the ref counted 3. There was even a big, gigantic pop from the crowd. That was 3. They even panned to a guy in the crowd yelling, "That was fucking 3." And it wasn't, but it ended up leading to the finish. So good for them. Like I said, this was a solid match. Right afterwards, Michael Nakazawa comes out to interview Riho, but he interviews her. He says all kinds of shit in English, and then it says, "I'm going to interview her in Japanese now." And I'm like, well, then what the fuck were you doing just standing there rambling? Nia comes in, beats the shit out of him, just throws her to the side. She goes to kill Riho, and Kenny Omega comes out to make the save, and this has already been addressed, and I'm really hoping that it has been. I really don't want to see an intergender match this early, okay? And then especially if you're gonna throw Kenny Omega into it, you're already kind of like killing this poor guy. He went from the best wrestler in the entire world to like a crazy a-hole.
I think it's gonna be. No, because I think it's gonna be no, dude. I think it's gonna be Nakazawa and and Nyla Rose, but
Okay, see that I
that's
wouldn't
just
mind.
what I think. I don't think it shouldn't be Kenny
No.
Omega, because Kenny Omega doesn't deserve that. But
Who?
at the rate they're going, it just seems like they're destroying
Yeah.
Kenny.
I mean, I'm hoping
I'm
there's a
sorry.
big turnaround coming.
It just
But
is.
right now, dude, it's like Kenny used to be. You used to speak of Kenny's name in awe. You know what I mean? There was Symphony. Oh, he was in that limelight when people talk about Okada. Some people don't like Okada as much as I do. But like when I talk about Okada, I feel like I'm talking about like Ric Flair, but this generation. And Kenny Omega is definitely within that tier. But this run in AEW is not the Kenny Omega that I was used to. And to be quite frank, this is not the Kenny Omega that I want. But time will change that. So we go to the main event. It's Chris Jericho. Go ahead.
But he also
That's true.
yes, but he also hasn't been wrestling. It's not like it's not like he was when he was in New Japan, to where he was wrestling constantly. Right now it's just like
No, it's great.
He's resting his body, which is a good thing, because that longevity thing is gonna good for him. And
yeah. No, you're good.
excuse me.
Oi.
I did it again. Excuse me. Anyways, I just think there's gonna be something good that's gonna happen. I'm hoping the feud with Moxley is gonna go somewhere. So
let's just hope. So Chris Jericho and his tag team partners Ortiz and Santana, the former LAX, taking on the Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Nick and Mac Jackson. I don't know how to put this match, but let me just go with about a minute into it.
There was obviously it was a stoppage, so we'll just say that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So the match starts out. Kenny's in there. Jericho's in there. They start wrestling. All of a sudden, the Bucks do a dive, and Kenny Omega's doing the whole Terminator gimmick, and he's getting ready to do his dive. And then all of a sudden, just like at, I want to say, All Out or All In or one of the two, right behind him is Jon Moxley. And Jon Moxley's standing there, and he's doing his crazy, like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Oh, I'm going to kill you. And Kenny, he's not reacting to, he's reacting to the crowd. He's not just going through the motions like, oh, I'm going to do this dive. He's like, wait a minute, why does the crowd sound different? What the fuck is going on? And he's kind of just like lost a little bit. And then right as he goes to turn around, Jon Moxley kills him. And he kills him, and he kills him, and he kills him. And he beats him here, and he beats him there. He beats him hither, he beats him yon. They go to the VIP area. Did I mention he was beating him in front of the ref? He beats him in front of the ref. They go up to the VIP area.
Oh, by the way, there was a VIP area. Even JR said there was a VIP area. How come I didn't get an invite?
They don't like your barbecue, which is bullshit. Anyway, so they go in. Like Moxley's just killing Kenny Omega. He gives him the Death Rider on this quote unquote glass table. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody I've talked to is freaking out about the glass. How come he wasn't bleeding? You know what, dude? Let me get my fucking concern off my chest right now. And it's not about the ref issue right now. I'm going to get to that. It's about the fact that Kenny Omega was dropped on top of his fucking head. I have never, ever, ever seen a fucking move just taken so badly. Just so badly. Kenny is one of those guys, he oversells for everybody's move. He always does a little extra for everybody's move. And what I mean by that, I mean, go watch a Jay White match against anybody else, and then go watch a Jay White match against Kenny Omega. Look how everybody takes the Blade Runner. Look how Kenny Omega takes the Blade Runner. Kenny Omega takes the Death Rider legitimately on top of his head. His feet are almost straight up in the air, and his head goes straight down to the floor. Fuck the dumbass table. To the floor. This dude's freaking chin touched the navel. I don't know how he wasn't dead. I legitimately don't know how this guy wasn't dead. Like, I was in absolute fear when I saw this fucking DDT. I was in absolute fear. And then, oh yeah, that was the only reason I was like, moving. Oh my God. But then reality kicked in. And I just said, what in the fuck? Why in the hell is dumbass Rick Knox, the supposed fucking senior referee for AEW. Just let this asshole get beat on. And beat on and beat on and beat on and beat on and beat on. And we're not supposed to fucking believe that this should have been a disqualification? You're like, I'm supposed to believe that this was okay, that this is allowed? We go to commercial break, we come back, and it's just a fucking match. Where's Kenny? Is nobody asking questions? Why didn't the ref stop this thing? Why couldn't you have stopped it and then the Bucks be like, no, dude, we want to finish this match. We don't give a shit about that. And then, give me some fucking logic. No, instead I get no logic. You can't base this on leeway and giving them, their spotlight. They fucking cheated. This should have been a disqualification. The match should have been thrown out. But instead, they go for a little bit. The numbers are too much for the Bucks. But mind you, Nick Jackson is probably the best fucking worker ever. He's just out there. He kills all three of these fucking dudes. He's just great. He is a one-man wrecking machine. As literal as you can be, he is a one-man wrecking machine. But like I said, the numbers are too much. There's a giant code breaker because Nick's jumping off the ropes. And then they get hit with the Judas effect. Matt gets hit with the Judas effect. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Jericho wins. And then the brawl starts. And the Bucks are getting their ass beat. And then Cody comes out. And he goes right after Jericho. And then Sammy Guevara comes out. And he goes right after Cody's balls. And then all of a sudden, I forgot who else comes out to make the save. Somebody else comes out. And then all of a sudden, Bellator's undefeated heavyweight, Jack Hager, comes out, running roughshod, throwing everybody here, there, everywhere, suplexing dudes. It's great. I'm already getting the immediate backlash. Oh, it's the former WWE guy. Look, dude. There's a lot of motherfucking former WWE guys, okay? Look who the world champion is for AEW, okay? He is the definition of a WWE guy. Look at Cody Rhodes. Look at Dustin. He's still playing the Gold Dust gimmick, for fuck's sake. So, it's giant brawl. We now have my rant's over.
Are you ranting?
It's a giant brawl.
I can tell.
Giant brawl,
You're
and now we have a
lot.
very odd-looking faction. But that also very much makes sense because you have the main eventer in Chris Jericho. You have the up-and-coming cruiserweight in Sammy Guevara. You have the big, heavy MMA guy, or the MMA heavy, 6'5", 200-plus guy pound, Jack Hager. And then you have the tag team in LAX. And the only question is, what the hell are you going to call these guys? The Bubbly? The Bubbly Squad. I like that. The Bubbly Squad. No? No bubbly? A little bit of the bubbly.
Bubbly. A
That was
little
the
bit of
show.
the bubbly.
Like I said, as for a television show, it was good. The wrestling was not as good as I would have expected, but this is day one. They wanted to make an impact, and they made an impact. No pun intended. So, you got any final thoughts on this main event?
None. There was a whole lot going on, and everybody's trying to get into where they are.
I forgot about the other guy that.
And again, we're back to
Yep,
it's episode one. This is like it reminded me a lot of the chaos that happened when in the first episode of
Mall of
Nitro.
America.
When Lex Luger all of a sudden came out and he was like, wait a second, what's he doing here? He's not even from here. He's not even on this program. Well, apparently his contract expired the night before, so hence why he was on WCW.
Well, like I said.
So we got a whole lot of chaos, which was probably pretty much expected, but it was a good show. I won't say it was great. I don't want to say it was fantastic, but it was good. We had a few hiccups here and there, and I thought there was, some pretty god-awful matches.
It can only go up.
It was a first episode, and it could only go up. Yeah, the ratings, okay, I'll get onto this. The ratings, yes, I get it. They blew out, they literally, and I'll put in the terms of the boys at Wrestle Talk News, they said they destroyed them. Yes, it was expected. it was expected. If they didn't outsell NXT, or if they didn't have a better rating than NXT, then they should have never had a television series. But people are wanting to see what the people were tuning in to see what the hell they were about. People tuned in to see what the heck they were going to do. Will it be the same way next week? Probably they'll still have a lot of ratings. Will it be the same amount? Probably not, because a lot of the people who were NXT fans were wanting to see what the heck they were going to do. But in my view, NXT was the better show this week. But, and I do think that. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Doesn't mean you have to agree with me. Doesn't mean you have to disagree with me. But I do believe that there were a lot better matches on NXT than there were on AEW on Dynamite. So if you look at, I like what they did. I like it. It's a first show. It's a first show. I'm not gonna knock them too bad, but I expected more. I got a whole lot less. But I'm going to reiterate, it is show number 1, and there will be more. There will definitely be more. And hopefully something is better next week.
Hopefully. Well, I mean, there are some other matches planned out for next week. So, like I said, hopefully it'll just get better. Hopefully it will just get better. But, like I said, you're all amped out about NXT, so let's get into it. Tell me all about NXT.
Oh, you mean to tell me I got to tell you all about NXT? Well, of course. We got NXT. Nice little opening. The show actually started with the NXT championship match between the original bro Matt Riddle and, of course, the champion Adam Cole. Now, okay, continue. Okay.
Before you get into this,
you
I
cut me
gotta
off.
mention
Fine.
this.
Whatever.
As much as I love NXT, and I love NXT, it felt night and day watching the AEW show, looking and feeling like the big leagues, to then watching NXT, which felt like I was watching MLW. Like it was just like a YouTube version of a television show that they just put on there, and it felt lackluster. Okay, the crowd tried so hard to get it to go to get it over, but it just didn't really work. Like I said, they tried really hard, and bless their heart for doing so, but like 450 people compared to 15,000 is just going to look better every single time. And like I said, I love that crowd to death, and they're faithful like nobody's business. But if there's one piece of advice I can tell NXT, it's get the fuck out of Full Sail and do it ASAP. Now go ahead on with the fucking match of the night.
I guess you moved my closing to the beginning. Here's what I'll start with. Mr. Wonderful himself, Mr. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, actually stated that Full Sail is not taking any more tickets past this year. So in other words, they are not doing any more tapings, or not selling tickets to tapings past this year, which is an indication that WWF, and namely Vince McMahon, is going to move NXT outside, which means they're probably going to be in bigger arenas. Maybe not quite the capacity of, say larger venues, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to go close to, if not to, anywhere 10,000 seat arenas, which I'm not saying that they couldn't fill, because if you put on a great product, they're going to fill it. And we know that, you know that. Not meaning you, who are the listeners, but Mo and I know. So we kind of figured that eventually, if you look at any of the takeovers, you could tell that there are faithful fans of NXT who know that it is an alternative. It is the better alternative to anything on the main event roster.
Agreed.
On the main roster, main event. So, anyways, back to my opening. Thank you for throwing that from my end to the beginning. I appreciate that, Moses. You're welcome. Anyways, so for all of you, the show started off with the NXT Championship match. I already stated that by the original Bro, between the original Bro, Matt Riddle, and of course the NXT Champion,
The Panama
Adam
City
Cole,
Playboy.
baby. Okay, it was a great opener. I loud. It was getting the crowd hyped. This crowd was hyped for this match. And it was the opener, and now we know that there is a complete fracture on Adam Cole's wrist, but yet for some apparent reason he still has the belt, and he still went out and picked up the win to the match.
First off,
so what did you
talk
think
about
of it,
this
man?
match as a whole. I fucking loved it. This was the absolute match of the night for both shows. This is probably the best WWE match I've seen since the last takeover we had, which I want to say was a little over a month ago. But these guys went out there and they tried to go a million miles an hour, and they got to like 999,000, but it was so fucking close I didn't give a shit. And it was just great. There was this awesome sequence where they're going back and forth. They're hitting the last, like it was a big knee strike from Riddle, and then it was a German, and then the Yoshikoroshi, and they were just going back and forth. It was fantastic. We saw the big giant Panama City sunrise, or Panama Beach sunrise. It was, like I said, this match was just fucking great. There was no interruptions by anybody. Cole ends up hitting Matt Riddle with the cast. He then hits the last shot, and that's the win. And then the best part of this whole thing, I'm gonna let you tell all about it, is at the end of this match.
Yes. So after winning the match, Cole is standing in the ring, and all of a sudden Finn Balor's music hits. He comes to the ring, stood face to face with Cole, and claimed NXT is his home. Let me ask you this: did you feel that this was a better opening?
As much as I don't want to say it is, it most definitely was. It was, like I said, it was the best match on either show. This was, I said last week, Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee were the best opening match in NXT history. Well, guess what? It just got trumped. Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole should have been the main event of the evening, strictly because no other match could live up to this. And it felt like the rest of the show just didn't get there. But it didn't take away how good this match was, and I eventually got over it. But it worked out great.
Okay, so let me ask you. So let me ask you this: does this loss hurt
Absolutely
Matt
not.
Riddle?
And you want to know why it does? Because they went out there and they looked great. They both looked great. Cole used the cast to his advantage, and unfortunately, Matt Riddle is kind of pulling the Kenny Omega right now. He's just on the losing end, and he's just kind of going down the pipeline. But big things are coming for Matt Riddle, as I'm sure are for Kenny Omega.
Yeah, but dude, the last two matches that he's had. Okay, so the last three matches that he's had. He had the two against what the hell was his name? Yeah, Killian Dane. No, sorry, my bad. So he had the two matches against Killian Dane where they literally beat the shit out of each other. And then of course you got Matt Riddle against Adam Cole. You know, he gets the number one contendership last week after beating Killian Dane. And this was just one of those matches to where you're just like, what more are they going to do? Besides kill each other, what more are they going to do?
Who knows? Maybe they can have a submission match or something.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see the Riddle Cole thing separating just quite yet. I don't know. Can you, other than Ciampa jumping into the mix, you could still make it a triple threat. You know, Riddle doesn't have to go away just yet.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not. We don't even know if Tommaso Ciampa's even been
the rumor.
Return to the ring, which I'll get to that later. Okay, so do you think Balor being in NXT is a way of getting ready?
You got to bring
ratings?
stars in. Now, how desperate for stars is the question. Are you going to continue to just bring back former NXT guys that you know are going to get a pop? Or all of a sudden are we going to start seeing guys like fucking John Cena, Seth Rollins, maybe, I wouldn't mind seeing like Heavy Machinery go down there and then like just run roughshod, or have them like have like an incredible match with like the Forgotten Sons. You want to get the Forgotten Sons over, you have Heavy Machinery go back down there and have them just put on a killer match. That's how you get fucking the Forgotten Sons over. Shit like that. But otherwise, I think Finn is just the tip of the iceberg, and we'll see.
Well, yeah. Well, there's... Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think... Okay, so I also got news today that I was actually going to throw out to you because I didn't have that in my notes. But there was actually some speculation that the club was actually going to go down to NXT.
That's the rumor that I'm hearing too.
While. Do you think those moves? Do you think those moves will help or hurt NXT?
Well, it's definitely going to help. I mean, you're going to have the immediate speculation of Balor and the OC re-clubbing up, if you will, and, just the NXT version of the OC. But I like it because the fact of the matter is these are the former 3-time IWGP Heavyweight Champions of the world, and now. Granted, they run things a lot different in Japan if it's not completely obvious. And these guys are talented.
Yeah, but you have to also remember is that Triple H runs NXT a hell of a lot different
than how Raw and SmackDown run.
Vince runs everything on the main roster. So we know it's good. We know it's different.
Well, I mean, now's the opportunity to allow these guys to actually shine.
What I'm saying is, yeah, but that's what I'm saying though, is that do you think by doing this, I mean, we already get completely different matches. We get completely different styles of matches in NXT than we do on the main roster. We see that week after week after week, and we get to see it after every takeover, or every event that NXT has. We know that these matches are very different than anything on the main roster because you get to do more. You are able to expand rather than be compressed to just working this type of way.
No, and I agree with that.
So I feel that a lot of the competitors that are on the main roster that could go back to NXT, and that's now at this point, that's not even a demotion.
And actually, there's guys begging and pleading to go back. I mean, you have,
and that's what that's the other thing I'm getting at too, is that okay, so like I said, do these moves help NXT or do they hurt them against AEW? It's definitely
a help. Stars are a help, and notable stars are a big help, and then especially when it's guys that were being looked at by AEW. Maybe we'll see a Cesaro in NXT. Maybe we'll see who were some other guys, a Rusev or something, because I really don't want to continue to relive the fucking bullshit he's going through with Bobby Lashley right now. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I don't even want to see that either. And the other thing is I would like to see AOP go back because they're an awesome fucking team. And the fact that Vince doesn't give a shit about a lot of the guys that are being called up, it's a travesty, because he could have such a stellar freaking tag team division for both shows, not just one show, because of all the waste of talent that he had. He just like, oh, well, they're not my type of guys. Well, then you shouldn't have fucking called them up in the first place.
When you're desperate for ratings.
Anyways, we'll wait and see. Anyways, we get the next up. We get the Velveteen Dream cutting a promo next and letting everybody know that oh, gotta love that couch.
Oh yeah,
gotta love the women that are on it too. Anyways, I shouldn't have said that too loud. I don't want my wife to hear me. But anyways, no, I'm just kidding. But there were a lot of beautiful women, and I'm pretty sure everybody else was taking notice. Anyway, so he's letting everybody know that he wants the North American title back, from whom he lost to Roderick Strong just
Yep.
2 weeks ago. I, for one, can't wait for
Oh
this
no, it's going to be a
rematch.
great one. And then especially if it's going to
What about
take
you?
place at a takeover, like I think it's going to be. They had a good match the first time, and it was on television. When you go and you give them that spotlight on the pay-per-view, things always just seem to get better. And we know how Velveteen is when the lights come on. For those of you who follow football, you get the football reference where the lights come on when you play late night. And the same goes for Roddy. Roddy never disappoints on television, and he really, really never disappoints when it comes to a pay-per-view. So their next clash is going to probably be better than their first clash, and that is definitely one of the ones I'm much looking forward to.
Yeah, it's going to be the next takeover, quite possibly.
Survivor
Series
weekend,
right? I believe, yeah, Survivor Series. So the weekend, the night before Survivor Series, which will probably be probably the final War Games.
I believe War Games is going to be their own takeover. It's not supposed to coincide with any other pay-per-view.
Well, that's what I thought so too. I thought they were just going to do their own one away and not do it the day before not do it before Survivor Series.
So I gotta ask you, because we did get this whole plug for the Leo Rush Drew Gulak match. When the fuck did the Cruiserweight Championship turn to NXT Cruiserweight Championship? I thought it was WWE Cruiserweight. They have it marked as NXT.
I have no idea. All of a sudden I hear that they're gonna have the Cruiserweight Championship is gonna be defended on NXT television, and I was just like, all right, but I guess it needs a place to go, right?
Else. All right. So speaking of better than anywhere else, we had a really good women's, I guess just women's match. I was going to say women's championship match, but this is the one before the women's championship match. It was Io Shirai against Mia Yim. How about you walk us through that? I felt this was possibly Mia Yim's best singles match since being in NXT.
Well, I was about ready to jump into that, and I was going to tell you, I really like Io's freaking new look and her new attitude. I don't know. She's a little bit crazy and a little bit dark, and I fucking love it. Mia, you got to admit, Mia Yim is like that one girl on the Wario that go, who you think is hot, but you're afraid to approach because she may kick your ass.
That's definitely her, all right.
Yeah, but we still approach her. But if you one of them dudes, you still gonna approach her and say, "What's up, baby?" Anyways, they left with all the aggression they had in last week's match, just given a little bit more time just for them to beat the hell out of each other. I mean, every kick, every slap, every hair pull, and no bet around.
Funny guy.
Hey, you gotta like that one. Hey, that was one of those references. Hey, pull my hair. Slap me, kick me, pull my hair. Oh, ain't nobody know that. And ain't nobody know that reference. Anyways, Io Shirai gets the win, and Mia Yim is obviously on a bit of a losing streak. And tell me what you think of this match, man. I
enjoyed this match. Like I said, Mia Yim's best singles match so far. Io Shirai is just great. We got the 619 from Shirai, missile drop kick. There was a code red. Love that move. It was very good. I don't know how Io Shirai is not immediately thrown back into the NXT Women's title picture. But no, this match was great. I loved it.
That's funny because Hey, dude, that's funny, man, because that was going to be my next question. So, does it help either women trying to get another chance at the women's title?
They look strong. Okay, let's just be as honest as we can be here. They looked strong. If there's 4 women atop this division, it's the 4 that had matches tonight: Candice LeRae, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai, and the fucking what's her face I just said right here. Goddamn Mia Yim. So I mean, it was. That's what I just lost my whole
Mia Yim.
train of thought.
I like to throw. I would like to throw maybe Bianca Belair, and the other woman that I was actually thinking of was I'll get into her later, but Rhea Ripley, who had a good showing in her last match. It was good to see. It was good to see these women actually give their all, and they were deserving the time that they got in the ring.
Another one
don't you
where
think?
they told them, "This is your time. You go out there, you make the most of it," and they did exactly that. They had no wasted motions, nothing too crazy. I mean, there was a couple of like little things where Mia Yim was just kind of having a regular wrestling match, and Io was like, "What the hell? What do I do? This isn't strong style in Japan." But it worked because they're great at what they do.
Yeah, these two actually took it to the floor and from the windows to the wall. Okay, so if you thought that was amazing, this next match was actually just as awesome, if not even more.
Can we talk about
Johnny
the outsiders
Gargano
being in the
taking
crowd?
on Shane Thorne. Do you know who Shane Thorne is? Do you know
Can
who?
we mention the outsiders hanging out in the crowd? Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah, I got that little.
We get the video package of Tegan Knox and her road to recovery.
I got
First off,
them out there.
Let me
old
say
dudes
this to
in the
anybody.
crowd.
Hopefully, nobody from NXT actually listens to this. Whoever put that video package together of Tegan Knox and all I'm hearing is her fucking cry. Fuck you, man. Okay, I don't need to be hearing her fucking cry. Fuck you. Like, you made me feel bad for her getting hurt. I didn't do it. I didn't tell her to fucking use a goddamn Shining Wizard as her fucking finisher. Don't put that blame on me. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Anyway, Johnny Gargano and Shane Thorne. Who the fuck is Shane Thorne again? I'm just kidding. He's one half of the Mighty Won't Kneel, right?
Yeah, who is Shane Thorne? That's what I'm asking you.
I think that was their original name. It was like MDKDPFCG.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I forgot what the heck that.
Poop emoji.
Yeah, something like that, or something like that. Anyways, these two lit it up, and then of course they also lit each other up in the process. So yeah, like I was gonna say, I know Shane Thorne, but I don't know him, but I am certainly impressed, and I'm thoroughly impressed with his ring work.
Can I state an obvious question?
But these two actually did everything but pull each other's hair. And
can I ask a very obvious question?
Huh?
Where the fuck has Johnny Gargano been in the last 3 weeks?
Okay, let's ask a very obvious question.
This is supposed to be like one of your top dudes. Where the fuck has this guy been the last 3 weeks? He's been on USA now. This is week number 3. He just now shows up. What in the fuck are you guys doing?
Why are you getting so angry?
You're obviously not going to push him to the main roster because apparently you're moving the NXT division or NXT division, the 205 Live division to NXT. So then what are we going to do with Johnny here? This guy should be another one of those dudes atop, especially since Ciampa's back. If we, that wasn't already obvious, even though it'll happen again in the end. Anyway, this match was great.
Did you? Okay, let me ask you about this match though. Let me get onto this. So,
sorry, my Harley or not my. I was about.
Thank you for driving by. Thank you. Yeah, my Harley came by, so nice. It's ready for me to take off on. Anyway, so can you believe the shots these dudes were taking in this match,
great.
Man?
And now the Ferrari's.
And now my Ferrari's taking off.
They definitely went in there and they laid it on each other. Gargano is not one to hold back some of his shots, and it's shown. And Shane Thorne was like, dude, if you're sending them, I'm sending them right back. And they had a good old fashioned slugfest for a little bit. There was the big strikes, there was the suplex with the slingshot DDT. It's fucking like I rather enjoyed this match. Shane Thorne officially became somebody to me. Thank you, Johnny Gargano.
courtesy of Johnny Gargano, who got the win. And apparently there was a video. Apparently there are several videos on social media showing Johnny Gargano, coming out after the show, thanking the Full Sail faithful. And with the draft next week, do you
You
think he
know,
gets the call up?
I would think so, but at the same time, if they're willing to let Finn go back down, what are you going to do with Johnny? You have a guy who's a bona fide star. You guys wanted him, and by you, I mean Vince McMahon. You guys wanted him to be your first ever Universal Champion. Now you're fed up with him. He's no longer the flavor of the month. You send him back down to NXT. What are you going to do to Johnny? All Johnny's going to want to do is go out there and put on great matches with anybody and everybody he gets in the ring with, but you're going to cut his move set in half, and you're going to tell him to cut down the fire in his promos, and it's just not going to be the same. So with that being said, if he gets pulled and he goes to the main, congratulations. I hope the best for you. I really, 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 really do. And if he gets drafted, I want him to go on Raw, because the only person I feel that could do anything with him would be Paul Heyman. I don't think Bischoff would have any fucking clue what to do with him. Granted, none of these guys really run the show, but, you know, if he gets drafted, I hope it's Raw. And if not, that's fine with me. He could stay in NXT forever, and I'd be happy.
I actually think he deserves the same respect that they give Daniel Bryan, you know, and I'd love to see him with a
That'd
match
be
against
fantastic.
DB, and also one with actually one with AJ Styles
Another
too.
good one, another good one.
Yeah, and who else would you like to see him face it since he's on the? Should
I'd
he
like to
end
see
up
him
on the
and
main
Seth go
roster?
at it. I think that could be a good one. Gargano and, are you ready for this one? Because this will probably flip everybody's lid. Gargano and Chad Gable, I think, would just be fucking tremendous. I think that would
God
be
damn,
tremendous.
that would be good. Tremendous. Oh yeah, especially they had some
Yep.
matches down in NXT with
DIY.
American Alpha and DIY. They actually had some great matches down there. And yes, I would love to see those two freaking take off in just a match together. I don't even care if it was just on Raw, but give them some time and give them 8 minutes. Give them a full solid 8 minutes and tell them to go out there and kick each other's ass. Don't even restrict them. Just
I'm about
let
to say,
them go out
if
there
you
and
want a
kick
match
each
to
other's
keep your
asses.
audience, that's what you do right there. You throw Chad Gable and Johnny Gargano on, and you give them. You say 8, I say 10. You give them 10 minutes, and you legit tell them, don't you worry about what you do. You fucking go out there and you do it. The work these boys would put in.
I'm giving them 8. I'm giving them a solid 8. No commercial, no split screen whatsoever. Just go out there and give me a solid 8 minutes. I don't care how you run it. Just give me a solid 8 minutes of a match, and I'll give you the time on TV, and you guys just go out there and whoop each other's ass. You guys go on there and put on the best show you guys can, and you know, I just think two can just light up a whole night, make a whole Raw episode of Raw or SmackDown, and everybody just be considered talking about
It
this
would be
one
great.
match.
And these guys could do it too. They would do it to the point of impressing everybody and then some. So I want to keep this going. I want to say we're running a little low on time. NXT Women's Championship match: Shayna Baszler, Candice LeRae. Now, I had mentioned the AEW was having their Women's Championship match around the same time as this. And this match was, and I'm not being mean to those ladies in AEW, but this match right here was night and day compared to that one. I absolutely loved this match. Shayna Baszler is the fucking best. And Candice LeRae, Jesus Christ, girl. Like, I don't know who's a better worker sometimes, her or her husband. She's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's baffling how good she is and how little they use her.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to put all this together because there was so much in this match, and I am not even going to go into every single thing that happened because there was no way I could fit it all in. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to compare it to the AEW women's title match. The thing is that you have to look at it from this one perspective and literally just say which one was better and even in the time frame that it had. If you look at the AEW women's title match, it was about 18 minutes long. In half that time, this match did a hell of a lot better. A little bit and then a little bit more time and then some, and did so much more, so much more. And I love that. And I'm not really mad that Shayna Baszler won. It's just I still think Rhea Ripley is probably going to be her next opponent, if not Io Shirai, and if not, the other one is Bianca Belair, who we didn't mention when we were talking about the women who are deserving of this, but those are the women that I think are probably going to be the next in line for Baszler's title.
I think
Don't
Bianca,
you think?
but you brought up Rhea Ripley, and if there's anybody on this brand now that should be the one that takes out Shayna Baszler, it's got to be Rhea Ripley. It has to be Rhea Ripley. As much as I would love a Candice LeRae or maybe even like a Mia Yim, a baby face, a real baby face to get this thing over. Rhea Ripley was way too strong in her debut to not be first in line after this, and then hopefully become the woman. And that's my guess that will happen. Making Shayna have to leave the nest and go towards the main, because if there's anybody more ready on the main besides the Undisputed Era, it's fucking Shayna Baszler. She is so main event ready, it's not funny. I could see her against Becky and Charlotte right now.
Yeah, but you're gonna look at it. You're gonna look at it from this standpoint. At some point in time, she's gonna end up dropping that title. She's gonna end up on quite possibly SmackDown because she was a UFC fighter. So she may actually end up over there, and we may end up seeing that horsewoman versus horsewoman match at some point in time in the next year or so. Hopefully, they've been hyping it up so damn long. It's not even. It's interesting, but it's not as interesting as it once was. And especially since Ronda, now that Ronda Rousey is actually doing a television show, I don't know how soon that's going to happen. Anyways, we shall see what happens. We get a small video package of Kushida and
Imperium.
Walter, everything that happened the week before, and we're going to get a non-title match next week and maybe if Kushida wins, you get an NXT title match. NXT United Kingdom title match, but that would have to be on NXT
not necessarily.
UK.
They can always turn around and do the match on the Takeover. We've always had the NXT UK match, UK title match on takeovers in the past, like Pete Dunne and Walter. So I could see them, if somehow, some way, Kushida sneaks out a win, it leads to a title match where maybe Imperium interferes, and then that's how they schedule the War Games. Maybe that's how they do it. Maybe that's the reason why Imperium is here. It's probably just for the War Games.
Yeah, we're probably gonna get a Kushida leading somebody
Please, not the Fashion Police
against Imperium. You never know. It might actually. Yeah, it might even be Birch and.
My guess would be Birch, Lorcan, and Dunn.
Possibly being on a team. Well, now that we got two of the names of the next match coming up, we got Danny Burch and Pete Dunne, and I don't even know what to call this match. These guys beat it. Okay, here I could only compare it to this. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion and it's just seeing every impact over and over again. These two kick the shit out of each other. These two beat the hell out of
Dude, it
each
was
other.
fucking
Come on, Mo,
great.
tell me about
First
it.
off, can we talk about the great grappling that happened? Because you know me, I'm a man for the grapples. They was grappling all over the joint.
Yeah,
they
and you
was
got this
grappling, all
thing
right.
with
They were
them
in there
grappling.
getting it. They had the release German on the apron. Fucking brutal. Killer Liger bomb by Dunn. We had the finger break spot. Then we get the bitter end. And like I said, these guys, they went 100 miles an hour. And it showed. It was a car crash.
Fucking Morrow Ronaldo. Favorite fucking line. Dunn is hitting harder than Ice
That's
Cube's
great.
no Vaseline. I was
Mauro
just
Ranallo knows
dying.
how it is a man with words.
Dude, I was
He's a
dying.
man with words.
Man with words. At least he knows his stuff. Dunn gets the win after the match. The lights dim, and then you got a spotlight on Dunn, and all of a sudden,
Punishment
out comes the
Martinez.
former Punishment Martinez, now Damian Priest, takes a full swing at Dunn's chin, knocked him the flock out. All of a sudden, I see Priest standing there. Looks like he wants some of
This
the
is
former
definitely going to be a
UK
clash
champ.
of styles.
I think this match.
Dude, Pete Dunne puts on great work with everybody.
Yeah, but I think they're just gonna. I think these two can tear it down,
because
though.
Pete Dunne's a worker.
Dude, no matter who the hell freaking Dunn is in the ring with, come on, man. You know as well as I do, Dunn can freaking fight with anybody. We saw that last week with Mr. Ago. Oh no, 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago?
Still
Against
one of my
Arturo Rua.
USA move so far.
Yeah, we saw him and Rua just. Yeah, and I am in total agreement, dude. That match was just off the chain.
Absolutely.
Go back and watch it, by the way.
Especially if you're a fan of the first 2 minutes.
Okay,
of grappling,
so after we got that, we got the main.
If you're comparing it with the grappling of this one, and then you go to that Ruas match, fuck, it was great.
Oh, yeah. All of a sudden, okay, so now we got the main event of the evening, the NXT Tag Team title match, the Street Profits taking on the champions, Mr. Kyle O'Reilly.
Mention how much I fucking
Fish
love Red Dragon
of the Undisputed Era.
The fucking best. Kyle O'Reilly is the white Montez Ford.
Yes.
That's right, I said it. He's the white Montez Ford.
They called him White Chocolate. So that's what his name is. We're going to rename Mr. Kyle O'Reilly.
Before we get into this match, I got to
talk
about this Kathy Kelly interview with Adam Cole. It's just this one part. Kathy Kelly tells Adam Cole, well, you know, so it looks like you used the cast to pick up the victory. And he's just like, whoa. First off, he's like, I didn't win with my cast. He's like, I won with the last shot. Maybe you should pay attention. I was like, Adam Cole's the greatest. He's such an asshole. But anyway, NXT Championship match or Tag Team Championship match.
Of course.
This was.
Yes, the one and only Mr. Wale gets the crowd hyped. But he
started out all like low.
It was kind of weird, but apparently he brought the street.
If he's like the hype man, he was not very hype.
Yeah, and Mauro Ranallo was just kind of. Yeah, he's okay. So he's like their hype man. I mean, yeah, you get the live performance of their entrance music, but it just seemed like he kind of went way off, and everybody was just all of a sudden it was like, what the hell are they talking about this smoking stuff? And it was like Mauro didn't even have a comment for it. He was just like, oh. Anyways, we got the Street Profits, Undisputed Era, Send the Shock System, send a shock to the system, and Mauro, of course, always hot on the commentating. Fish and O'Reilly have more chemistry than the periodic table. Straight fire. Anyways, these two teams just seem to mesh well, even though, you got two completely different styles. They do well together. They do mesh well. Anyways, after a little interference by Strong and Cole, Fish and O'Reilly retain.
Dude,
tell me what you think of this, Mo.
Fucking great. There was a few spots in this match that I absolutely loved, and one of them was there was this spot in the match where Angelo Dawkins he avoids a splash from from Fish, and as he avoids the splash, he moves out of the way, and he's diving, right? And he dives, and he tags in Montez Ford. He climbs the turnbuckle real quick, and right as Fish hits the ground after he misses the splash, boom, frog splash. I was like, that's perfect. That's fucking perfect. It's like I jumped for it. It was awesome. The charisma was fantastic. Roddy comes down to make the interference. All he does is really distract Montez Ford. Fish and O'Reilly hit the high-low, and it's over. Still, NXT Tag Team Champions, history-making 3-time Tag Team Champions. Adam Cole comes out to celebrate with his stable when a very, very familiar face walks up, and the place goes fucking nuts.
Yes, all of a sudden, Tomas Ciampa, his music hits. Then, of course, the Black Heart comes out. He stares down Cole. And, of course, his eyes go straight to
you're giving this
gold.
no justice. The music hits, and you can see Cole's face, and he's just like, oh, fuck, why is he back? He's just so sad. He's like your kid when you tell him you can't have ice cream, even though every other kid in the house has ice cream. He's just so sad. He doesn't know what to do with himself. And Ciampa comes out, and he circles Cole, and he's never once takes his eyes off of Goldie, and he just stares it down, and you just see Adam Cole like a scared little girl holding on to her favorite teddy bear, just clutching it for dear life, like, you're not taking it from me. And it was great. This is how you fucking end a show. Like, the absolute fear in his eyes told you the entire story, and it was great. It was great. I'm so scared to have Ciampa back this early. It's been less than 5 months. It's been less than 5 months. This guy had neck surgery that he could have been paralyzed. How has he been cleared? I really don't want to see him take a bump, dude. I'm going to be so nervous.
Yeah, I said this earlier. I didn't think he was cleared, but I like the fact that he actually came out. He's letting it be known, I want Goldie back. Goldie is mine. I'm going to get it back, and I will be back soon. I'm not saying you took away my thunder. I was trying to do some justice to it, but hey, I like your views.
I appreciate it.
I like the way you did it, though. But thank you. You did the same thing I did. I was pretty much going to say the same thing. He came out, he looked directly at Goldie, and he was like,
oh, yeah,
my
no,
baby,
I'm
back.
If he was flirting with that belt, boy, he was flirting with that belt.
Oh, yeah, he was like, what's up, baby? How you doing? It's been a while since the last time I saw you. You miss me as much as I miss you. Oh, yeah. Anyways, so I will go back to something we mentioned a little while ago. Do you think this main event topped AEW's main event?
I do. No, and I'm not saying it because of the 15-minute overrun that WWE has to force in there, thinking they're going to get better ratings, and it bit them in the ass. But no, like I was trying to say earlier, if I did say earlier, both of these shows were very good. AEW Dynamite as a television show was good. However, NXT on USA as a pro wrestling show was better. And I'm not saying it was better by much, but when I'm watching my wrestling shows, I want a lot of wrestling. Or if you're going to give me all kinds of segments and shit, make them good, which AEW did. But I'm accustomed to having both in my wrestling, and that's what I'd like. So hopefully, go ahead.
Okay, so here's
No, what I'm saying
continue.
is
no, go ahead, continue. I'm gonna let you continue.
Hopefully,
I'll let you finish what you were gonna say.
Learn that, you know what, dude, maybe our matches do need to be a little bit better, because I feel like they went out there and day one they were like, we're gonna beat WWE at their own game. We're gonna have all these stories told better than WWE would tell their stories. And NXT was like, fuck you, we're going to wrestle. And they went out there, they wrestled. There was not a bad match on that show. However, there were a couple of not so good matches on AEW, but there was not a bad one on NXT. Not one bad one. So.
And that's what I was going to get at next. So, from my view, NXT topped anything that AEW did that night. And I get it, but I get it. The ratings, everybody wanted to see what they were going to do. I didn't expect NXT to have, great ratings. I didn't even expect them to even do as well as they did and then get blown out the way they did. Completely destroyed. I'm okay with that. But if you look at the talent and you look at these matches side by side, NXT was a better show. I could have did without, the pan to, the outsiders. I could have did without the pan to Stephanie McMahon standing next to Mark Henry and whoever the hell else she was standing next to. I could have did without that. They didn't need to have stars out in the audience to be there watching this. All you needed to do was to go out, show some damn good wrestling, and people would have been happy. That's what I would have. That's the only thing I could take away from this match that was the negative. Everything else was by far way better.
I can totally agree. Like I said, everything, it just was a little bit more on the season side. So yeah, AEW won this week. Everybody wanted to know what AEW was gonna bring to the table. You knew it was gonna garner more attention. Hell, everybody that was a wrestling fan was saying, I'm not gonna watch NXT live. I'm gonna watch AEW. And so that's what happened. They all decided we're going to watch AEW. Now, next week, is the same thing going to happen? We don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. But only time will tell. So that's it for the Wednesday Night Wars episode 1 review, I guess. Episode 1 for us. Episode, 3 all in all, because we talked about it 2 weeks prior. But like I said, that's it. We do have another show coming up again. It'll drop on Monday. It's the regular Retro Rewind that we do with the beautiful Miss Moni Lynn, who will be joining us. Again, look at that one for Monday. But, yeah, let's get out of here. Paul, let's hit him with some social media on our way out.
Of course, you could find me on Twitter and IG under the same name, RWT_Deadman. Doing a little more, going to start I'm going to start posting a little bit more of the shows that we're doing. Catch us on Spotify, of course. Catch us on SoundCloud. Find anything interesting that you want me to look at, hey, tag me in it. You know what? I'll be happy to either like, share, and, all the other usual stuff. Of course, Mr. Moses Marquez, you may take us home.
Yeah, just like he said, SoundCloud.com/SmartMarkRadio is the main hub for us. You can check us out, however, though, on Spotify, on Google Play, and what's the other one? Stitcher Radio, our newest addition to the family. So we are legitimately going to be taking over the world, as I like to say. More and more is going on. Like I said, we got the Retro Show dropping on Monday. But another great thing about us and all of our hard work that we do is pay-per-views. We go live on Facebook. And this Sunday is a pay-per-view. Hell in a Cell is going to go down. We have the Universal Championship match. Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, taking on Seth Rollins. Burn it down. We're going to see how that whole thing goes. So I will be sending out links on Twitter, on Facebook, maybe even on Instagram as well. The day we go live, so Sunday, tomorrow, following the show, immediately following Hell in the Cell, quite possibly me, Paul, and Moni, or maybe even just by myself. All I know is part of the Retro crew will be on Facebook Live, not only reviewing Hell in the Cell, but asking questions and getting your guys' opinion. So, again, make sure to check us out on Spotify, on SoundCloud, on Stitcher. Follow all of them. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. SmartMarkR, R for Rainbow, not Raspberries, not Reading Rainbow. None of that jazz. Stands for radio. So, anyway, we'll catch you all around the bend. We appreciate you listening. All you new fans, make sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you later. Peace out.
Peace out.
SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.